Hello there. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the ways my team uses Jira and other Atlassian products to manage our work. First, I'm going to introduce the Evangelism team, who we are and what we do. Then I'm going to talk about how we use Atlassian products to manage our work leading up to reInvent 2024. I'll also discuss some of the product features that the Evangelism team finds handy. We'll start with Jira Product Discovery, followed by Confluence, then Jira, and finally Loom. So, what is the Evangelism team? We're a small, geographically distributed team based out of Canada and Australia. We work closely with partner teams in the United States, mostly based out of California and New York. We collaborate on projects with many teams and build technical marketing content for a diverse audience. Asynchronous communication and collaboration is a must for us. We plan and track all of our work using a combination of Confluence, Jira Product Discovery, and Jira. To explain how Evangelism uses Atlassian products to manage our work, I'm going to talk about reInvent 2024. At reInvent, the Evangelism team did multiple speaking sessions at our booth and on a larger stage, and we presented on-demand technical demos of our products to our customers who visited our booth. reInvent was a collaborative effort between multiple Atlassian teams, including the events team, marketing, product development, and evangelism. The majority of people on these teams are spread across San Francisco, Sydney, Australia, and Vancouver, Canada. The events team owns projects of this kind and depends on marketing, product development, and evangelism to deliver content. Evangelism was asked what we could do for reInvent, what kind of demos and presentations could we create. So we got to work. Our first step was to go to Jira Product Discovery and create a category for reInvent 2024. Then we started proposing some ideas. Folks from the events team and various marketing teams also came to our JPD board and added ideas. Everyone was free to contribute ideas, and all ideas were tracked and prioritized against each other in a single place. This made it easy for us to collaborate asynchronously with various teams located in other parts of the world. Details were discussed in the comments section of each idea and in Confluence pages attached to the idea. A lot of the content we created for reInvent took the form of short 15-minute presentations. We iterated on storyboards for each presentation in Confluence and had input from events, marketing, and product teams. A nice side effect of building out content like this is you have a nice artifact you can reference for the next project. Not all the proposed ideas were greenlit for reInvent 2024, but the storyboards might prove useful in the future. We prioritized ideas with the help of the events and marketing teams and selected the ideas we would implement based on our capacity. There isn't a one-to-one mapping of ideas to implementations. We had more ideas than capacity, so we had to shortlist the best ones and choose those that the broader team agreed would have the most impact. Once the ideas were greenlit, we created Jira issues for each piece of work we were actually going to do. Each Jira issue was automatically linked to the idea it came from. This allowed stakeholders with a link to the idea in JPD to keep up to date on the work that was being done. They could find the Jira issue where the implementation of the idea was being tracked, and they could see the content that was being developed. Stakeholders could look at JPD and see which ideas had attached Jira issues, and they could see the status of each Jira issue. The benefit of this for the Evangelism team is that we could work asynchronously in our content, and no one would ask us for status updates or pull us into meetings to discuss the status of the work. The state of the work was always apparent in JPD, and anyone who wanted to drill in could access the content we were building. Once we had completed planning and agreed on the body of work, we moved implementation tickets from our Jira backlog into our Jira board. The Evangelism backlog contains all the work that the Evangelism team has agreed to actually do. The Evangelism board contains all of our current work. We work quarter by quarter. We'll pull a quarter's worth of work from our backlog into the Jira board and start doing it. A team could pull a week's worth, a month's worth, or a year's worth, whatever works for your team. Jira is kind of flexible like that. Inside each Jira issue, we put links to the content we were developing, and we ping each other for feedback. When we had something ready for a stakeholder to review, we'd ping them in the Jira issue and keep working. The asynchronous nature of this style of collaboration meant we were never blocked waiting for replies. There were no meetings, no interruptions, and the Jira issue contains a full history of the conversation, including any questions asked and any answers given. Despite never being in the same room with any of these people, before the event we all showed up at the right location at the right time with the correct content ready to go. Everything went off without a hitch. The best part was that there was no stress because everyone who was interested could see the state of all of the work that was in progress at any time by going into Jira and looking at the issues. If they wanted to look at the current state of any of that content we were building, they'd find links in the Jira issues and they could leave comments which we would respond to. With that out of the way, I'm going to move on to talking about a few of the features we use regularly. First, let's take a look at Jira Product Discovery. The first feature I want to take a look at is the ability to create Jira issues from JPD boards. This feature is simple and saves me time. Once my team decides we're going to implement an idea, I can create the Jira issue for it immediately without having to context switch to Jira. This is one of many places where Atlassian products are integrated to save you time. You can also find Jira issues in Compass and Bitbucket, and you can find Confluence pages in Jira, for an example. JPD provides out-of-the-box graphing of impact versus effort for ideas. The x-axis represents the effort to implement an idea, and the y-axis represents the expected impact the idea will have on team's goals. Look for high-impact, low-effort ideas when choosing what to work on next. Avoid low-impact, high-effort ideas. Without external pressure, we try to focus on the top of the graph, and we prioritize from left to right. Sometimes we won't be able to do that because externalities affect the work you take on. For example, reinvent work was always going to be a high priority this quarter. But this can help you decide between competing ideas when there's no externalities affecting things. All right, let's move on to Confluence. There are two features that I want to show you. The first feature is Confluence widgets. When editing a Confluence page, type / to get a drop-down of handy widgets. There are many widgets, and these things are a real time saver. They give you access to a wide range of functionality, including page trees, tables of contents, and Atlassian Intelligence. Atlassian Intelligence can do a bunch of things, such as summarizing a page, adjusting the length, translating to another language, and activating Rovo agents. Rovo agents are AI-powered agents that can be built to do a wide variety of things. One cool example we use internally is the distributed journal writer agent, which creates summaries of discussions in Slack that led to the creation of help desk tickets. Creation of these summary pages used to be a time-consuming process, but now it's trivial. The second feature is Confluence templates. You can build Confluence templates that let you create new pages with predefined structures. Confluence templates can save you a ton of time and help you reduce errors because you don't have to remember as many things. One example of where I use templates is the production of YouTube videos for my video series on the Atlassian YouTube channel. The process to create and publish a video has several steps and requires some specific information. I created a Confluence template that helps me track the process and all the relevant information for a particular video. When I want to create a new video, I create a new page using the template and I start filling in all the required information. Because of the template, I never miss a step in the process or forget to do anything. Another benefit is that when someone asks for help creating and publishing their own YouTube videos, I can give them access to the template and they can follow it. This lets me easily share a fairly streamlined process broadly with others. If you perform any task with a bunch of steps, templates can help by reducing the mental load of the process so you can focus on the more interesting parts of the work. There are 3 things I'm going to talk about in Jira. First, you can customize Jira issue types. Out of the box, Jira provides a set of issue types that cover a lot of types of work, for example, epics, bugs, and tasks. Each of these issue types provides a set of fields for tracking relevant information. These issue types can have their fields customized, and they can have new fields added and existing fields removed. You can also create entirely new issue types if you have a business process that requires them. For example, I could easily create a Jira issue type for creating a YouTube video for the Atlassian YouTube channel. There's a lot of flexibility here to match your Jira to the needs of your team and to the needs of your business. Second, you can create custom workflows for each issue type. Out of the box, Jira provides a simple issue workflow with statuses to do, in progress, and done. This is a good starting point and covers many use cases. However, some types of work require different workflows. You can define issue type specific workflows for each issue type. In the screenshot, we see a custom workflow that goes from to do to revision to review and then either to success or failure. This feature combines well with the previous feature to help you model your business processes as Jira issue types and workflows. You don't want to model all of your business processes as separate Jira issue types with custom workflows. The default issue types are great at handling simple processes. Instead, look for complex business processes with multiple steps, such as reviews and approvals, and start there. Processes that require multiple people to be involved at different points in time are ideal candidates. Finally, let's briefly discuss Jira automations. Jira automation is one of a few ways for data to flow into Jira from another system and from Jira into another system. This lets you, for example, create Jira issues when events happen in other systems and trigger actions in other systems when things happen in Jira. Why is this useful? People work in non-Atlassian tools for parts of their job. For example, I worked at a university for a few years. The university ERP was written in PL SQL and ran on an Oracle database. It was used by the entire university for every business function. With Jira automation, we were able to send data back and forth between Jira and the ERP, which streamlined cross-team collaboration and work management. Finally, I'm going to introduce Loom. Loom makes it easy to record what's happening on your machine along with the talk track. You hit the Loom record shortcut and wait about 3 seconds for the audio cue, and you're recording what's on your screen and what your microphone is hearing. This is one of my favorite ways to communicate complex ideas to team members and stakeholders. I'll record quick demos of what I'm doing and then share it with everyone who needs it. I'll link the Loom video in the relevant Jira issue so anyone who might need it can access it later. Another thing I use it for is to record steps necessary to reproduce bugs I find in software. Say you have an IT team that takes care of your computer problems. Trying to explain what is wrong to them via text in some ticketing system can be difficult. It's often much easier just to record the problem happening and talk through it in the recording. Another use case is when I'm developing a demo or talk track for a conference. I'll record an early version of it and then link it to the Jira issue tracking the work. Then I'll ping a few people who I want to review it. I can incorporate the feedback as it comes in, and I'm never blocked. This lets me stay focused on my content while collaborators and stakeholders and other teams review my work. I get into a nice loop of creating, recording, sharing, and integrating feedback. Now, why is recording a video so useful compared to just writing a Confluence page or having a meeting? Let's take a look at meetings first. Meetings are synchronous. Everyone has to attend to get the information, and the information is presented once, and then it's gone. Loom lets you record a presentation and share it with people so they can watch it at a time that is convenient for them, and they can watch it multiple times if they need to. Since we typically share our Looms and Jira issues, people can ask questions about the content in the Jira issue and get answers there. This also means that anyone who comes across the Jira issue later can watch the recording and read all of the questions and get all of the answers. Now, you could record your meetings and share the recording, but this still requires people to show up to the meeting in the first place. For geographically distributed teams or teams that collaborate with folks in other time zones, that isn't great. What about just writing a Confluence page? Loom videos supported by Confluence pages and the superior way of conveying complex information, and this can be illustrated by an example. The following slides contain a written description of how to do a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu armbar. There are 5 high-level steps, and each step has a couple of paragraphs of text explaining what to do. The first step is to isolate and control your opponent's arm. This step requires 2 paragraphs to explain. After isolating and controlling your opponent's arm, you need to position your body for the attack. This step also requires 2 paragraphs to explain. After positioning your body for the attack, you need to position the arm for the attack, a further 2 paragraphs. While positioning the arm for the attack, you need to ensure that control is maintained. This is our 7th paragraph of text. Finally, if you manage to maintain control while positioning your body and the arm, you can execute the submission. After reading these 8 paragraphs of text, most people would struggle to perform an armbar correctly. Conversely, here's a quick video I found on YouTube showing how to do an armbar. For most people, one of these instructional methods is much more effective. Loom lets us record these short 30-second videos that can augment or even replace lengthy text explanation of complex ideas. So, in summary, you want to track ideas in Jira Product Discovery, you want to collaborate on content and documentation in Confluence, you want to manage your work in Jira, and you want to share complex ideas with teammates via Loom. Thank you.